Hello, my village. Let me get this video shared. If you guys join, let me know. Say hi, hello, so I can know you're here. And I'm just sharing this video really quick. Hey, Danielle. I'm just sharing this video really quick. Hey, thanks for tuning in. I'm just sharing the video just in case y'all wonder what I'm looking down at. I'm on my MacBook. Sharing it to my group and to my business page. Alright, it's all shared out. Okay. Let me get down to the topic. I don't want to make this long because I'm on my lunch break and I got to get some food for my baby. For those who are new, I am Coach Mo. I'm a family and parenting life coach. I help parents co-parent with success to be able to coexist in their child's life. I also help parents with kids with behavioral issues. Today's topic is we have to do better. I was gonna go on live. I told you guys I was gonna do helicopter parenting, but every day God sends me a different message and it takes me down a whole different path than what I originally planned for my life. Thank you for joining. Pretty much this topic came about today when I went to my son's school for parent-teacher conference. They do it every semester, and the teacher just made me aware of what they've been going through, like with the district teachers. Like, I feel sorry for teachers. First off, they're underpaid, overworked. I did not know my son's class had 27 kids in it, and it's a what they call an integrated class, where there's behavioral issue kids, English as a second language kids, and then the regular kids, all mixed in one. Everybody's on different levels as far as education. Some are below standard, some are average, and some are Excel. My son is in the Excel group. She was like, in the beginning of the year, he was testing as a 5th grader, even though he's in the 4th grade. But just a week ago, he tested below 4th grade level. And she's like, I feel like it's my fault because those Excel students don't get much of her attention besides once a week, which is unfair because they have these classes all mixed up together, and I see it's totally unfair for those kids who don't need as much help or one-on-one, because they get like just thrown out to the woods. They just get abandoned. She's like, I'm so sorry, like I feel like it's my fault that they don't get enough attention because it's just me with 27 kids on different levels, and she have to focus on the kids, bringing them to the level that they need to be. But me, I told her it's not her fault, because me as a parent, I have a responsibility as well. Even though I make sure my son get his homework done every day, I make sure he's turning in work. I'm very active parent because I homeschooled him for the last 2 years, so I know I don't want their job because I've done it. I've done it voluntarily at home, homeschooling him. First, I did part of 1st grade, 2nd and 3rd, and we put him back on campus for 4th. But we discussed like test scores, stuff like that, and I didn't know, like when I was growing up, they used to mix the kids up based on their level. How many kids and not enough attention from one teacher. Exactly. And that's how it is in a lot of places now. The school budget is the first thing that they cut when it comes to where the city or the state or the government need to cut funding. They always go with the education. They don't want these kids to be smarter than them and take their jobs. And it's so crazy that that happens. And my son has always been above average, so it concerned me. And I asked her, my 15-minute slot for the parent-teacher conference turned into over an hour, because we literally strategized and had a discussion on what can I do as a parent to help her. And I can reach out to other parents. I told her, do you need more volunteers for your class? Like, what do you need help with? And she's like, I'm stressed and overwhelmed. Yes, I need volunteers. That's like, I will come here a few times a week. I work from home and I'm only around the corner, and I work at night 2 to 11. So I'm like, I would definitely come here a few times a week to help you out if that's what you need. And I was like, as far as the kids with the behavioral issues, I offered to offer my services to the parents. I also printed out one of my ebooks, 5 Easy Steps to Changing Your Child Behavior, so I could send it home with the parents, because obviously it started at home. The teacher should not be sitting there trying to discipline your kid all day when she got already a handful of kids that she have to teach and bring up to standard, and those behavioral kids are interrupting class, talking to the other kids. It's so not fair for everybody else. They have a teacher's aide, but she only come in once a week, which is not gonna help when 4 other days she's needed. And they said they have like a coach that come in. She told me she learned more in that 1 hour from me as a parent coach than she did from the coach at the school district pay to come in her class once a week. So she's like, can I email you tonight? I'm gonna have a discussion with them to have you come in, because you taught me more about the kids than she did, and she get paid to do it. And I'm like, that's unbelievable. That is so crazy to me. But she explained to me like how they have the different groups set up for kids where she's just going back and forth. She's like, I only get to work with the Excel group once a week, so I lead them to themselves to figure things out and stuff like that. And I was teaching her about like learning the kids' love language, kids like incentives, affirmation, tell them they did a good job, stuff like that, to build their self-esteem and confidence. And she was like, I didn't even think about that, because she have an incentive program, but not every kid love language is gifts. A lot of them are affirmation. And I make more than the teachers. Like, I thought about helping with the teachers program here in Las Vegas, but I'm like, no, they don't make enough for me. I make more working from home or in my business than the teachers make on their monthly and annually salary. It's crazy. But pretty much I gave her my word that we can work with the principal, because the principal know me. I'm one of those parents that will come up there, I need explanation, I need to know where the money and funding is allocated, why you guys keep having subs, why you can't keep teachers, why y'all firing, laying off people. I will sit down with them and have a conference. I always do. So they know me when I come up there. They, hey, Coach Mo, because they know I come ask questions. I need paperwork, I need documents, I need to see where this funding is going, because these kids are not learning. And then especially when I found out that Nevada is like the 2nd lowest school district in the world, like in the US, besides Mississippi. And I'm like, that's not acceptable. And this is why a lot of parents turn to homeschooling, because she was like, you did an excellent job with homeschooling your son. He's far advanced for his grade. And I'm like, we have to, because look how they do in the school on campus. You guys are overworked, they're overcrowded classes. There's no way possible all the kids can learn be on the same level if they have it all mixed up like this. Your kid can go backwards. But I don't blame the teacher for everything, because as a parent, it's our job to also teach at home as well. Like, we can't leave all the responsibility up to the parent and be mad that our kid ain't learning nothing, because we're not teaching them either. And everything starts at home. I always tell parents that. It starts at home. Just before your kid go to kindergarten, preschool, you should be teaching your kid their name. I remember when my son started kindergarten, kids didn't even know their name because they've been called a nickname their whole life. That's not acceptable. I have a problem with that. They don't know their first and last name and they're 5 years old going to school? No. They don't know their ABCs? They can't count? My son was starting to learn a 2nd language in kindergarten. He was learning Spanish. It's like, what is wrong with teaching your kid? You don't even know what hand your kid write with. Like, that's not acceptable. You should know that by the age of 2, because they should be feeding themselves. You should know what's their dominant hand and what's not. You're right. The school's supposed to provide security in lessons. Times have changed. They definitely have. They definitely have. I do agree with that, because the schools have a time, like here in Nevada, I don't know about other places, but we have to buy all the school supplies. We have to buy printer paper for them to print out the worksheets to send homework home. They make us buy everything. The school do not provide anything. We're buying like everything but ink. Literally, we got staples, we got hand sanitizer, wipes, glue, scissors, all that. But I bought that for her whole class. She was like, I need more parents like you. First day of school, I come with a ton of stuff, because I'm a couponer. I do extreme couponing. I had deals. I still had leftovers from last year's school supplies. So I made sure all the students was taken care of. I made sure they had way more hand sanitizer and wipes because I don't want my son coming home sick. It's the other mother's bed. Yes, it is. And like, what we noticed, like another thing she noticed, my son behavior changed. He started talking in class, and then now he used to talk a lot. Now he just shut down, and it's because like I noticed it changed, and I asked him like, what's going on at school? And he let me know, like, it's the kids in the class teasing him because they're like, are you Mexican? Are you black? Because his last name is Flores. He's mixed, and they're like questioning him, what is he? Because he's at a predominantly Hispanic school this year. Usually he's around 99% white, and he never had that problem, but now he's around the opposite. And so they're bullying him about what is he mixed with, and why is his last name Flores, and just stupid stuff that kids bother him about. Then they're like questioning why he's light skinned. So yesterday me and him had a conversation. He's like, Mom, I want to be dark skinned. I told him, babe, you'll never be dark skinned. And he was like, you offended me. And I thought that was so crazy that he told me like he was offended because I told him he would never be my color, because he's yellow. He's super bright, light bright. And I told him, like, dark people don't have it easy. You have a better chance than me. We had to sit down and have this conversation. And I'm like, babe, just because your skin color is lighter than mine and kids are bothering you about it, you got to learn how to ignore them. So I have to coach him and teach him how to ignore what people say, and don't let what they say bother him or alter his whole aura and his everything, because he was coming home angry. And then I found out the same kid is in his class. That's the same kid that ride the bus home with him, and it's the same kid that live in my apartment complex. So we talked to his mom. My son, dad, the little kid hit my son and slapped him on the bus. And I'm like, no, now that it went physical, there's something we have to do about this. So his dad came and regulated it. He went to the parents, but then we see where how the parents are. And I'm like, oh, that's the mom that come to the bus stop with boy short underwear and t-shirt and some house shoes. Yeah, we're not gonna get through to that type of parent, because they don't even care and be respectful to come out around other kids at the bus stop looking like a slut. So it's like, it start with the parents, it start at home, but when the parents don't know no better, they can't do better, and they can't model what they want their kid to be, because half the time, like the teacher said, the parents don't care. She send behavior slips home, she send all kind of stuff home, but she don't get it back from the parents. She don't hear from them. She called, they don't answer. So it's like, what could you do with those kids? So I'm working with the school to figure out what can we do. And since we can't get to the parents, we can definitely get to the kids so that it won't affect other kids being able to learn, because they're dealing with disciplining a kid with bad behavior. Kids are closed-minded because of their life and parents. Our parents shouldn't feed off energy. They do feed off energy. They definitely do. But I told her, like, oh yeah, he's dealing with one of the kids in the class, and my son never told the teacher, and I always tell him, just tell the teacher, and he's like, no, she's busy. And he's just like one of those kids that I don't want to bother her because she's busy. So I told him, next time you better tell the teacher if somebody's bothering you, because she need to get you away from them in class so they won't distract you or have you angry and aggressive, coming home mad and pissed off, talking about you don't want to ever go outside again and all this stuff. Like, he really started saying that, like, I don't want to go outside ever again because the kids keep bothering me. And I'm like, nah, babe, we're not going to have that. Like, let's fix this right now. But I told her that's why his behavior changed. And I questioned, like, why do they, last year they used to send home a big, thick package every Monday, and we turned all their homework in on Friday. This year they're sending home one sheet of math. And I'm like, is this all you guys going to send home? Like, how are they learning? And I always question my son, what are you learning? What did you learn today? Do y'all do any other subject besides math and reading? Because those are the subjects he's really good in. And I'm like, you already know this. You mastered this. And she's like, parents don't do homework. They don't bring it back. So they stop wasting paper sending homework home because they don't do it. And I'm like, that's a damn shame. Like, parents should be helping their kids do homework. They should be a little more involved and hands-on with their kid to make sure their kid understand and know it. Because homework is extra practice. So they can be able to pass the test and do good on the state test and stuff like that. And that's the problem. A lot of these schools and school systems are failing because parents are not helping out. They're not doing their part. They're not supporting the kid doing homework. They're not, some of them not even coming to the parent-teacher conference. She said, here it is like 3-4 months in, and she never met some of the parents. That is crazy. It's like, how are you not involved in your child's life, but then you'll get mad if your child get all F's and get held back. Then they try to throw out the No Child Left Behind. No, we're not going to keep sending kids, passing them through because you just want a babysitter because they're school age, because you don't want to deal with them at home. And that's basically what it's turning out to be. Schools are becoming just daycare, where your kid can go get lunch and somebody else deal with them so that you won't have to. And that's not good. But I gave her a copy of my ebook to give to those teachers, those kids that she see that have behavioral issues, and she meeting with some of the parents tomorrow. I said, here's my ebook, I'm going to email it to you. I'll give them a free copy. Yeah, like with homeschool, like what I did, I put my son in the Boys and Girls Club, and with homeschool, they do a lot more field trips. So like here in Vegas, he did homeschool, and they will send the kids to like the skating rink. They meet up with all the other homeschool kids for like their physical education. They meet up at the internet cafe for the seniors and the high school kids to read to the elementary and middle school kids. They get participation points like that, going out to activities. They do picnics, field trips, like they do all type of stuff. And that's why I like the homeschool system better, but I'm trying to get him used to being on campus because I need a break. I have enough to do with running 3 businesses and working full-time. It's not a lot of me to go around to homeschool him when I'm thinking of going back to grad school to finish my last 7 classes. So it's like something that I battle with, and I've been saying, like, should I homeschool? Should I go back to homeschooling? Because we travel a lot. Like, we're getting ready to go to Spain, Greece, and back to London again. I don't like getting permission from a school to take my kid out to go travel and let him learn international. He learned on the road. Like we did this year. We went to Italy, Paris, and London. He did homeschool on the road. We were literally flying 10 hours doing homework on a 10-hour flight or whenever we had time. But it was fun for him. I told him, you still got to do work even though we were on vacation. But I like to teach him on the road. So I am thinking of going back to homeschooling, even though his dad don't want to do homeschooling. He wants him to stay around kids, learn to tough it out, and be with the other kids. But if that's hurting his grades, I think that's not worth the sacrifice. Right. Bills gotta get paid. Even though it can get paid because I work at home and it's a little more easier because I have online businesses, but still, I need my me time. Mommy needs to go to lunch by herself and have her me time, go get a massage while he's at school and stuff like that. So but I told her, like, as a parent, I'm not gonna just leave all the responsibility to her to make sure my son learns, because she already have enough on her hands, and I know it's overwhelming because I've done it. I helped teach him online through homeschool, so I definitely don't want her job, and I let her know that, like, I commend you for dealing with 27 kids when I had to only deal with 1, and that was hard enough, and take a lot of patience, especially with younger kids. A 9-year-old, especially my son, he's one of those, he got to be politically correct. Like, if I was to say, what time is it? If I was to say, oh, it's almost 5:30, he'd be like, no, it's 5:20. Like, he's one of those kids that want to correct you with everything. So he will push back. Every time you're trying to teach him something, you'll teach him your way of doing it, he'll teach you his way of doing it, but his way got to be correct. So that takes a lot of patience when you deal with a smarty pants, and he'd be like, I already know it, I don't need your help. That's the kind of kid I have. Or he'll be always saying, like, apparently, Mom, my answer is correct and yours is not. Like, he say that all the time, apparently. So I have to deal with that. So I'll be like, you sucking the energy and the life out of me. I can't do no work with you. You got to do this project on your own. But I told her, like, I'll commit to coming at least once or twice a week to help her out, and we'll strategize and see what will work to help bring the other kids up to level. or if she need me to work with those kids that's more challenging, or work with the kids that are excel, to give them that attention, even if I'm just there to be that affirmation person, building their self-esteem, their confidence, stuff that should be done at home. But because I told her, some of the kids don't probably hear that they're smart, that they can do it, and get that encouragement at home. They're probably hearing you're stupid, you're dumb, and all this stuff, and the parents not having patience with them. So I said, when they hear from your teacher and you can gain their trust that way, stuff like that, she's like, I never thought about that. I'm like, they probably never hear that they're doing a good job, that their efforts are appreciated. Awesome session. We're going live at 5. I'll check it out. I'll check it out. Thank you. Yeah, I try. Like, I feel sorry for kids. I try to save the kids from the parents. Even though I'm a parent coach, and sometimes I try to fix the parents to save the kids from needing therapy due to their parents' poor decisions or parenting when they were younger. I want to help raise mentally, physically, and emotionally healthy kids. That's my goal. Here my kid come. He's mad. What happened now? I'm live, so.
My phone fell out of my pocket at the park, and
You lost your phone?
no, a kid on purpose saw it, and then he just bent the screen.
Where is
took out
it?
the battery. It's over at the dog park, broken into pieces.
So somebody broke your phone?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll deal with it.
But I don't have a phone.
You don't have to cry about it. It's just a phone, babe. We can get another one. He's crying about his phone. Some kid broke his phone at the playground, so now I'm gonna have to deal with that. I'm live right now, okay? We're gonna deal with it, okay? You don't have to cry about it. It's just a phone. Okay. But our school system is really failing our kids, and it's a shame to say that, because education used to be something that was put as a priority and important, especially when I was growing up. They used to push the kids, go to college, do this, do that. I don't see that anymore. I really don't see people taking that extra step to encourage kids to have a college education, or even if they don't want to go to college, I encourage and mentor kids, like high school kids, to be an entrepreneur. If you want to start your own business, it's possible. I always talk them into, like, you can do more than what people say you are. I grew up in Compton. I never in my life thought I would be a parent coach. I knew I wanted to do something in the psychology field. That's why I got a degree in it. And I knew I wanted to do something dealing with helping families and children. I thought I was going to go into counseling and have a practice in counseling. That could still possibly happen, but when I see the psychology world, and when I thought about being a psychologist, and I see it's all turning more towards medicating kids and stuff, that's when I steered away from it, because I was a licensed pharmacy tech. I'm licensed in 2 states. I don't agree with medicating kids. I don't even believe in medication. I do the holistic way. I do essential oils, all the holistic natural things. That's what I support. So that's why I stopped doing pharmacy tech. But I just wanted to say, like, I challenge all of you to reach out to your child's teacher and ask, what could you do to help them? Because their job is not easy. They have a lot of pressure on them to get these kids on level, to get them learning, and motivate them to want to come to school, because sometimes the parents are not pushing them to even want to go to school. But just I challenge y'all to ask them, what do you need help with? Because they need help. Some of them won't say it because they're so busy trying to help educate your child. But that's all I wanted to tell you guys. I promise you I'm going to do the helicopter parent, because that's like my favorite topic this week, and I have like 16 more topics. But this is the type of message that came on my heart today, and then yesterday was the co-parenting thing with Alicia Keys. I totally had a whole different topic that I wanted to discuss that day, but I'm going to try to start going live every day for the rest of the month to get these topics done. Hey, EJ, you called me at the end. I'm getting ready to end. But you can go ahead and catch the replay. If you guys catch the replay, just do #replay, and you'll be able to see what I discuss. Our children's future are depending on their education, and the educational system is failing us, but us as parents need to step up and see what we can do to help them, because it's very important. But I'll talk to you guys later, and tomorrow we're going to talk about helicopter parent, unless God send me another message on my heart to talk to you guys about. We will finally get to the helicopter parenting. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.